Hey, how you doing? Justin here. I recently did a song by Ariel Posen called How Long. You might have seen the lesson on it. And it was in a tuning that I wasn't that familiar with. It was open C tuning, which was more like an open D tuning to me, but down a tone, but with a capo on, so it made it back to the open D tuning anyway. But when I started looking at the chord grips that Ariel was using, I found it really interesting because it was so foreign to me. And I found that when I was trying to explore it on my own, that I started thinking intervallically for the first time, rather than thinking about like what the notes were. I was just thinking about the function of the notes. And as it happens, I got Ariel in the studio, so
hey.
I figured I'd have a chat with you about that and see if that's somehow how you think about it and how you find the chord grips and what way it helps you with both kind of playing chord grips with your fingers and for your slide playing as well.
Yeah.
So is that how you think about it?
Totally.
Right.
In any tuning, it's all about, it stems from intervallically. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I've never heard that.
Right.
I like that. I think about the notes themselves, the intervals, the relationships of the notes, the scale degrees.
So even with, because I've always thought in terms of the cage system and the function of the notes within the cage system.
Yeah.
But in this tuning, I started thinking about the cage system as in, the cage system, the intervals within a line.
Yeah.
The intervals that way, instead of thinking like, if I'm playing like a regular A shape, of course I'm thinking it's the root and the fifth and the root and the third again.
Yeah.
But this was...
So basically what happened for me, I got into some bands and artists that were using open E. And not to be confused with open G and open A, those are actually an interval up on every string. So it's the same
so
tuning.
the root note is on the fifth string.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That I don't use that. That confuses the heck out of me.
Right.
But open D, open C, open E, it's all the same intervals. 1, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1. So I got into that.
Yeah, but this is usually open C has a, isn't it a C and a G on a, like that? You've swapped them around.
No.
No?
Yeah. C, G, C, E, G, C. 1, 3, 5.
Yeah, I thought regular.
1, 5. 1, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1. Is that what I said?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe it's not what I said. That's what I meant.
Yeah, but I thought that traditionally open C was with a C and a G rather than a G and a C. And then open D I thought was what you had, but down a tone. That's where I got a little bit confused.
It's all based off of open E, which is 1, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1. Like an E major. It's like this E major chord.
Yeah.
And so it's like that voicing
Yes.
in C. So what I did, I kind of learned it by throwing myself in the fire. So
Well, that doesn't sound like a good way to learn guitar. Man, jeez.
no, but it helped me understand and helped me take all the things I already knew in standard tuning and transfer it over. So, I started, like if that's our bar chord, in standard, I realized, okay, now this chord is now that.
Yeah.
So if that was a dominant 7 chord, now it's this, it was stuff like that. I went through every kind of chord shape. 6, major 7, this string, major 7. And then with minor, 6.
Here's something really interesting already that's making me go like, oh yeah, you're thinking a lot behind the root. Like for me,
I'm thinking from all sides.
Yeah, but particular, like I often think in terms of what I can add to it ahead of it, but I didn't so much think about going at, it seems it's like, yeah, that's really obvious, but maybe I'm just haven't gone there yet, but okay.
I did the same thing with scales, I'd go like... And they kind of in all different shapes. And, and then I realized, and this is why a lot of people like playing slide and open tunings, 5th position pentatonic, which we all, maybe not all of us, but a lot know, it becomes...
Oh.
So that's why...
Nice.
That's why you hear a lot of like...
Can you do that for me nice and slowly for anyone who's not familiar with that? So this is what would be pattern 5 in standard tuning.
In open tuning.
Yeah.
So... Obviously, I'm playing it with the sharp 4 in there.
Only one note in the on the 3rd string then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's just kind of different. So in time, it just started. I treat them kind of like different instruments, but more so than different instruments, I think of open tuning and standard tuning as two different voices and two different colors. So I'm always thinking which notes, what, like the melody, that's the core. I'm not trying to go position wise. I obviously have little intuitions that I have in each tuning that just my muscle memory will do. But at the end of the day, I'm going for the same kind of treatment of melody and notes, but they just come out a little differently, and that's why I like having both. I wouldn't like committing to one of them. Both of them just they bring a different kind of thing. You know, I think of open tuning more like a piano, whereas, you know, with like the droney stuff on top.
That's all sounding to me like the root on the thicker string. One of the things that you did at least I found, was the root note was on the 5th string. So which makes the shapes a little different. Again, like trying to think intervallically, it made it all weird. Like just a regular A chord is a weird...
Totally. So here's how I think of it. So obviously, you know, you could take a song and go, let's do a blues in G. So in this case, G is right here. You know, or like let's just do a 1-6-2-5. Or, you know,
but how
that'd be treating it like if you were in standard tuning, you just play it wherever. But the way I've started to treat open tuning is I think of it the way that bluegrass guitar players think. So typically, bluegrass players, you know, they'll only really play in C shape, like whatever key they're in, they'll capo so that the 1 is a C chord. They'll play in D, and they'll play in G. So it's like, they'll play in any key, don't get me wrong.
But they use the capo to,
those are the 3 main positions that they play in. And I've thought of that as the same now in open tuning. So I consider first position, whatever tuning you're in. So 1... So that means that if you're going 1-4-5, you know, that's 1. Or and then I think of them in 5th position, like you were saying, where the 5 chord normally, like what we just did, is our 1. And that goes now from, and it just gives you different flavors because your 4 chord now becomes the open chord, you know, so rather than going now you get this. And you know what, I'll just capo. Now I'm capoed so that my 5th position chord is now a C again.
Nice.
And it just has a more impact. See what I mean?
Nice.
And it's just little things that, like your 6 minor chord normally in. Now it's. Right. So I think of 5th position, 1st position, and then 4th position.
Right. They're the 3. So rather than having like cage system where you have 5, you're thinking open tunings, you've got 3.
That's how I do it. And that's why I like to use the capo a lot. So I like to play certain songs in open position, we can call it. I like to play certain songs in 5th position. You know what I mean? And then some in 4th position where your 4 chord is our 1. And then our 4 chord is actually a flat 7 in 1st position, if that makes sense.
4 chord is the flat 1 in 1st position. I'm like,
I'll just show you. See? Yeah.
I'm going to rewind because I've just realised I didn't get it. So if we've got this as, if we're considering this to be pattern 1,
Yeah.
or like area 1, or shape
Open
1, or
position.
whatever,
Yeah, exactly.
position 1,
Position
then
one.
we've got this one, which will be position
5,
because it's the 5 chord in the key of the
Yeah.
first one. So, but you said another one. You sometimes use 4 as well. So that's
That's it.
okay, which is the same as this.
Exactly.
Okay.
And for those that are wondering, the reason why it looks like an
An
E7 chord in standard tuning, this finger is playing the 3rd of the 4 chord, and then exactly.
Yeah.
And then the root is actually what your pinky is playing. So it's the root of the 4 chord, right?
Okey-dokey.
And that's the 5, the open one. So there's still normal triads, inverted chords. They just show up once you start getting them out of your head that they're not E7 chords. You know?
Yeah. So are you thinking, because we talked about this thinking intervallically in open tuning, so you're still thinking, I have to still think about this, so this is going to be the 3rd, the 5th root.
Yeah.
What is it? What is it?
That's the 9.
It's the 9.
Right? Of the 4 chord.
Of course, that's what I was thinking. It's like it's not a chord tone. Hang on.
And that's the beauty of it. It gives you these different colors, and you can do these chords in standard voicing too. Like to do this chord in standard tuning, it would look like that, because you're still playing, the 3rd.
Oh, like a minor 9. Yeah, that would be like an F sharp minor 9.
Kind of, because you have that 9 in there on top. But it just gives you different colors, and I bend the rules a bit because. Yeah, like that's a 4 chord, but I'm playing a 9. You could go and play that 3rd.
You're losing that color though.
Exactly. So that's why I say that I like to switch between both, because it's just a different variation. It's a different voice. It's a different color that you get. And for some things, I think it'll work great, but I don't want to use it for everything. I just like a little variation.
Okay. Cool. So, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I think next up, I'm going to give some quiz time for you on your favorite chord grips in this lush open D, open C tuning, if that's cool with you. So,
of course.
Hopefully you'll join us for that very soon. See you later.